Before we begin the story, please note that we will be highlighting some new vocabulary words throughout the text. To discover the meanings and see examples of these words, you can visit breezeenglishstudio.com for a full explanation to aid in your learning. The link will be provided in the description box for your convenience. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived an evil queen. She was known throughout the land for her wicked ways and her insatiable desire for power. Her cruelty knew no bounds, and her subjects lived in constant fear of her wrath. In a humble village nestled at the foot of the queen's imposing castle, there lived a poor boy named Hans. Hans was an orphan, and he had to work tirelessly just to earn a meager living. He was known for his kindness and his unwavering willingness to help those in need, even when he had little to give himself. One fateful day, the queen's guards arrived in the village, demanding that all the village's treasures be sent to the castle. The villagers, already living in poverty, had nothing of value to offer. The evil queen, infuriated by their lack of tribute, declared that if the village couldn't provide her with a treasure, she would take their children as payment instead. Hans, filled with compassion for the terrified parents and children of the village, stepped forward. He offered the only thing he possessed, a small, plain wooden flute. He explained that the flute had been a gift from his parents, and although it had no material value, it was his most treasured possession. The queen, amused by Hans' pitiful offering, accepted the flute and ordered her guards to leave the village. However, she couldn't resist taunting Hans as they departed. "You've given me your flute, boy, but don't expect me to spare your village's children." The queen returned to her castle, where she reveled in her newfound treasure. She ordered her musicians to play the flute, but to her surprise, it produced the most enchanting and soothing melodies. The evil queen, who had never known kindness or happiness, found herself drawn to the beautiful music, and for the first time in her life, she felt a glimmer of peace. Intrigued by this change in the queen's demeanor, her loyal advisor, a wise old woman named Agnes, approached her and said, "Your Majesty, perhaps this flute holds a power greater than any treasure. It has the ability to bring joy and comfort, something you've never known." The queen, torn between her newfound appreciation for the flute and her desire for power, decided to test the flute's magic. She ordered Agnes to find the boy who had given it to her. Agnes journeyed to the village and found Hans. She explained the queen's request and told him that if he agreed to stay at the castle, he could play the flute and bring joy to the queen's life. Hans agreed, not out of fear, but out of his desire to make the world a better place. Hans played the flute for the queen day after day, and as the enchanting melodies filled the castle, the queen's heart slowly began to change. She no longer lusted for power and control. Instead, she yearned for the simple joys that Hans's music brought her. One day, the queen summoned the villagers to the castle to apologize for her past cruelty. She returned their children and treasures vowing to rule with kindness and compassion. The villagers forgave her, and the kingdom flourished under her benevolent reign. And so, in the end, the evil queen had learned that true power lay not in domination and cruelty, but in the ability to bring happiness and kindness to others. The story of Hans and the magical flute served as a reminder to all that even the most hardened hearts can be softened by the beauty of compassion and music.